Welcome to Co-op Mode, round 170. This is the official video game podcast of Secret Friends Unite. I am one of your hosts, Todd Oxtra, and I am ready to talk some video games with my very good friend, the Canardian, Mark Kierman from Parts Unknown, where eventually we'll find out it's actually not a real place. It's in another universe. It's a fantasy land, but that's okay.
100%,
I believe that you live in a real place.
Mark,
how are you doing tonight?
I don't. I'm great. I'm excited to. You've got a great buy rent return. I can't wait to get to this, but I'm jumping the gun. I'm great. How are you?
Things are good. It's been kind of crazy. I tell you about my dog problems, and like I said, the old. If you remember the Scrubs musical episode where the song "Everything Comes Down to Poo," yeah, you and I are living that right now with pets. So sing along; it makes things better. But other than that, just had a lazy America Freedom weekend where you know what? I look out my window and it's where I live. But other than that, we're in a good place. What can I say? Made some good food this weekend, and I also made boiled rice and chicken for my dog, as I told you. So that is where I'm at. So, Mark, are you ready to get in to talk about some video games?
I'm ready.
And people that make this show happen?
I am ready. Yes, let's talk about those amazing people first and foremost, because 170 episodes in, these people make it happen. So that is our Secret Friend squad over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite, including our besties tier, Derek Trevelyan, aka the Figure Dude, Francie, Charlie's hairstylist of choice, the Xbox expansion pass, Charlie's Uncle Tim, the Friends with Benefits tier, John Sedorf, Brendan Myers, Corian HD, Matthew Keel, Kurt Krug, Tanya Lee, Chipotle Bear, Famous Seamus, Cam the Movie Man, Jane Newport 007, Darth Prozac, and our newest member, Freight Conductor. We also have to give a special shout out. I just got off the phone with this guy, like one of the greatest people ever. That's very cool. Sean, Stella, and Henry Nias. Sean just gave me a call like right before we started recording and talked to him. I was out trying to scramble to get the last few things. And I was like, I've got 15 minutes to get home and get set up and get ready. And then Sean called and we chatted for
Sean will talk your ear off too. He's a chatty Cathy.
Never mind talking to Sean though. I always enjoy it. So yeah, thank you to all of those people. You can join this great list of people for exclusive shows, no ads, Discord benefits, all that kind of stuff for as little as $2 a month. Your first week, absolutely free. And then after that, your first month, you get 50% off. So you're getting this free for a week, $1 for your first month. And then as little as $2, you're getting all of those things, the exclusive shows, and is worth it alone because that stuff's just constantly popping up and awesome. So again, you can join these great people over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite.
Absolutely. So Patreons, check out the show. We've got some great new Patreons, and we're glad to bring in new stuff all the time. Some really cool stuff is coming up. But with that, Mark, I'm going to hand it over to you because you have something you want to announce.
I do, yes. So I might have to go over to Patreon and join these people because I will be stepping back from this show and from Secret Friends Unite. I'm sure if anyone listened to Holocron Chronicles last week, you've already heard the spiel. But for anyone who only listens to this show, so I've kind of made the decision to step back from podcasting a bit. The basic short version is I've been doing this for a long time. I find the spark just isn't there as much to excite me about podcasting and stuff. I love Secret Friends, love the crew. Charlie, Todd, you guys are incredible. I will continue to be a fan of the show, a fan of the network, continue to stick in the Discord. This isn't like a bad blood, I'm leaving, F this, F that kind of, light some bridges on fire kind of deal. It was just kind of for a while. It was like, is that spark still there kind of thing? Do I want to try new things? Do I want to just kind of take the summer off? and see how I feel about content creation and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where I am right now is just, enjoying, this is kind of what I just talked to Sean about too. Enjoying the summer and then seeing potentially other types of mediums, YouTube shorts and reels and that kind of stuff, potentially for like my continued thoughts on things. But as far as like long form podcasts and structure in this kind of way, I've been doing it for a long, long time. And I think, stepping back for me right now is the right choice. And I'm excited to see what you guys do next. I know Charlie already has plans. He already talked about some stuff for Holocron Chronicles. I'm excited to just be a fan. This is going to be good stuff. So I just gave the Patreon spiel. The content's not stopping. It's keeping on going. So don't feel like, oh no, he just told me to go to Patreon and now he's saying like I'm out. No, I still believe in all of this stuff. I still love the network. I'll still be around, hopefully still be able to pop on as a guest every once in a while. This is the last of me being the regular co-host for Co-op Mode, which is a bittersweet thing. But I think, again, I think that's kind of the right thing at the time.
And this show wouldn't have existed if you hadn't reached out to me, Mark. So we know we podcasted before, the Warp Whistle podcast. You did the Splatoon podcast with Bobby Paul. So you were doing this before we started. And like you said, a lot of things have changed. When we started this, you didn't have a little boy. You got a little boy now. You got a little cat. And that changes your perspective. And you didn't have a 3D printer and you weren't hosting panels. And life has changed a lot.
So I was thinking about this stuff. I've been podcasting for not super seriously, like probably 15 years or more. Yeah. My interest in podcasting started late university, maybe right after that. So like I'm talking like early 20s ish. And I'm 40, so like do some math there. A couple of like short-lived shows that were like a couple of, there was one that we tried. I can't remember what it was called. It was basically like tech and geeky stuff. And then there was a short-lived video game thing that kind of evolved over time into the Warp Whistle podcast. And then I had like a travel blog. So I've been talking for a long time and then the Warp Whistle and then this stuff. So, podcasting's always going to be special to me, but it's like you said, like it's been a long time, man. It's crazy when I actually sat down and thought about it. Like most people, if they don't know me from here, they knew me from Warp Whistle and to think there was like a few failed attempts at starting something even before that is just crazy when I started to think about like how long I've been active at this kind of stuff, or at least like tangentially connected to some sort of podcasting project. It's been a long time.
Yeah. And most podcasts don't last this long. Most people don't stick in the game this long. Most marriages don't last this long. There are challenges, creative, whatever. It's a production, and we've always had a good back and forth, and which I loved about this. It was not my show; it was our show, and I always said, "Mark, who do you want to do? Any ideas?" So, and that's what we came up with some things. And
Todd, you have been the greatest co-host that anyone could ask for. Simply in the fact that it was our show, it was a collaborative effort. It was, hey, do you have any thoughts on Byrant Return? Do you know it? Do you have a topic that you want for tonight? Do you have just anything. You were always down for stuff. So again, I really want to stress to you and to anyone listening, like, this is not I'm sick of Todd, I got to get out of this kind of thing. This is a just me thing. This is what's that? It's not you, it's me. Is that kind of like the?
Oh yeah, that sounds like the worst breakup in the world, Mark. I'm like, I don't want to make you feel bad. It's like,
no, but I mean that fully, 100%. And it's this is not a reflection on this show or on the stuff that we've done or on you whatsoever. It was a tough call, and it's a kind of a bittersweet thing to announce and to talk about. But mixing things up and trying new things and figuring out next steps. We'll see if it's the right one, but it's a step anyway. So there we go.
Well, I'm so glad we did this. I mean, we've got a couple core pieces that kind of brought us together. And we always talk about people that, the podcasting world is big, but it's also small. We've got some great friends who we've known, we've had as guests. And, I've always loved having guests because you never know what's going to be your next person you just get a relationship with, and you do these things. So, and my wife's like, hey, Todd, you're a little down. I'm like, well, yeah, because I'm grieving a little bit because, this is a relationship we've had for the last 6+ years of every 2 weeks I get to talk to my buddy. And, and it's one of those things where, you're not going anywhere. And I can always, message you, whatever. Yeah. And then, you did get there was a request. So folks, just let you know, if you do want to say a proper goodbye in person to Mark, we're going to do a Patreon party chat end of the month, probably when it works for everybody. And we're just going to hang out, have fun, give Mark crap, and we're just going to have a good time. So stay tuned for that, because I think it'll be a good time. But Mark will always have an open door to any of our stuff. If he's like, I'm going to pitch you something, cool. So Secret Friends Unite.
If I'm getting itchy, I know who to call. Itchy the podcast. So I have one more holocron. We're doing a wrap up with Tales of the Underworld next week, and then the Patreon hangout thing is going to be a blast. I'm not immediately like just shut down, power off. And like I said, I'm always going to, I'm around. I'm not disconnecting myself from the internet. I'm going to be on the Patreon and Discord and everything else. And I'll still be bugging you guys as much as I can.
Absolutely. So with that, Mark, I tell you, man, I picked this buy, rent, return just for you. I called it Marky's Choice, like Sophie's Choice. That story about the woman had to choose between her 2 children. I don't think it's that bad. I mean, Glenn Close, it's a tough one. But it is to Mark. These are his first children. Before Finn was around, before Ray was around, before your wife was around. You loved some things, Mark, and you still love them today. So I picked Pokemon, Pikmin, and Splatoon. Now I have Pikmin 2. I have the Pokemon cartoon, but really it's the franchises that you have to choose between. This is your Mary Boff kill. This is like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because if I return it, it's gone, Mark. Yep. You'd have to live without it. The rent is just like, maybe you only get a couple hours with it because, that your spouse, your video game spouse is saying, Mark, why are you spending so much time with so-and-so? Hang out with me. So there you
I got to give some time for this one, and I've got to read some of the...
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you jump in first. Or do you want to read some of the stuff from Discord?
Let's read some of these ones. Let's go. Okay. Yes.
You jump on the first one. I'm going to grab...
Okay, so we got the grump in charge of the nerd chat, Daddy D. Wally. He says sell them all. Very simple. He owns a Switch, but I don't think he's a Nintendo fan.
Why do you bother at that point? You return in 3 these things. Like, what do you play? What do you?
My goodness!
What do we have here?
Speak. Oh my God! My nightmares have come true.
Oh my gosh! Hey boys! message from Mark the Canadian. Daddy Diwali over at the Nerd Chat told me that you're retiring from podcasting. Is that true, Mark?
That's pretty true, yeah.
Let me tell you something. Did I ever tell you about the Nerd Chat, Mark?
Tell me about it.
Oh, there's this little podcast with a group of best friends who love to get together and podcast and talk about gaming, food, and the good old days. And let me tell you something, Mark. You haven't been on the show yet, have you?
I haven't.
Well, guess what? You can't retire until you come on the show. There's no recording for Mark tonight,
This is delightfully
I can't wait to get you on the show, Mark. I'm going to give you a big licorice kiss.
This is why you watch the YouTube, folks. The scariest Joker ever, more so than Heath Ledger, is on our show.
That's my good friend Todd Oxford. I love that big licorice head of his. Let me just give it a little. Come on, Todd. Come over here to the Joker. Come over here and sit on my lap, you big boy.
This is incredible.
We used to have a hotline on Secret Friends Unite. We had Dr. Doom on it, but, Joker never appeared on that, so we got to give him his props.
But seriously, Mark, I just want to say congrats on all these years of podcasting, brother. I don't know how you dealt with Todd for all these years, I'll tell you that much. Okay? 7 years, is that right?
Almost 7 years.
6.5
That's crazy. All right, so I'll give you big props for 7 years of dealing with this jabroni over there.
This
All right.
Joker.
Oh, yes. What is it? No,
Hey, Joker, did you hear about this Daddy Diwali when we did the buy and return? He said sell them all.
What's wrong with that guy? Give me some games. What are the games again?
Pokemon, Pikmin, and Splatoon, the franchises that Mark loves.
Oh, yeah. Oh, trash. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. We got to do Batman, Arkham Asylum, Batman. What's that second one called?
Arkham City.
Arkham City, thank you. And Arkham Knight.
There you go. Nailed it.
Give her. So sell that. You return that.
How about the Suicide Squad?
You got to buy Arkham Asylum.
No Arkham Origins love.
And Red City. I love the Metroidvania of Arkham Asylum. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, Mark.
I got you.
Okay.
Surprised you didn't throw a GameCube controller at the couch, Joker.
Oh, where's my DualSense? I don't know.
GameCube controller.
Oh, wait, that's right. Mark, I'm done with the Xbox controllers. Get them out of here. Switching to DualSenses only. Get rid of your Xboxes, everybody. Phil Spencer's a liar. He's a dirty liar.
He is, but man, that controller's unstoppable.
And Slimy Satya Nadella. And Sneaky Sarah Bond. Aaron Green. Aaron, I don't know what I'm doing. Greenberg. Matt
Joker. Maybe you're going to be the next CEO of Xbox.
Yeah, let me run that. Let me get it.
You have my vote.
All right, Mark, I can't do this anymore.
I'm surprised you kept it up that long. That was incredible.
And there it is, Daddy Diwali from the Nerd Chat.
From the Nerd Chat. Oh, hey there, Marky Poo.
Hello.
You see,
so
Mark,
I want to
Joker.
clarify something. Not retiring fully from podcasting. If anyone wants to have me as a guest, I'm fully open to that, including this show, your show, whoever wants to reach out.
We're going to take you up on that. Because Todd's been permabanned. He got permabanned a long time ago. So you are welcome to come onto the show anytime.
Appreciate it.
But seriously, Mark, it was always a blast coming on this show with you guys. It makes I'm not going to lie, I'm a little sad to hear about this. And it sucks because every time I came here, like I said, it was a great time. And you're such a cool dude. You're a great podcaster. You keep Todd on his toes. You bring balance to Todd's insane takes at times. So I just want to say we're going to miss you, and you are always welcome on the Nerd Chat. I guess Todd can come too, but we definitely need to get you guys on there. And congrats, that's a long time. I think I've only been doing it for like 3 or 4 years, so 6.5 years. That's quite the accomplishment. So congrats, Mark.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. That's very sweet. Thank you.
I will take off now. No more Joker. I will retire him.
He's coming back though for Halloween, I assume.
I really hope so.
He's coming back, you
It's a threat, not a promise.
Did I ever tell you
so much.
I like
Say.
these scars, Todd? Did I ever tell you that?
Your wife after you tried to stop Tennis Man?
Been buying too many goodies, Mark. You guys have a great day. Come visit us over at the Nerd Chat if you want some crazy Joker impressions. Love you, boys. See you
I need
later.
to print a Batman mask immediately.
We salute you. See you online, Dan.
See you online.
Hey, Secret Friends Unite, let me tell you about Zencastr. We use them for our show, and now they're supporting us. Zencastr is now the all-in-one solution making podcasting easy. It's the ultimate web-based podcasting solution. Provides high-quality audio and video podcast production and hosting. With a full suite of professional tools, podcasters can seamlessly record, produce, and publish studio-quality content, all from one dashboard. Being a creator has never been easier. And we chose Zencastr because of the ease of use, high quality output, and it makes it super easy for our guests to come on. We had multiple solutions we tried before, and Zencastr has just been the best fit for us. Why Zencastr? It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sounds and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Have you ever worried what you sound like? Zencastr's post-production process makes you sound buttery smooth. It automatically removes those ums and ahs in your recording. It removes those awkward pauses in conversation too. Set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with the click of a button. So if you're interested in making an easy, high-quality podcast just with the click of a browser button, go to zencastr.com/pricing and use my code SFU1. You'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Now back to the show. All right, we got the Joker's picks. We got Dan's picks. So, Mark, we got a few more.
I can't wait let's jump right in. We've got Brennan Meyer's The Winter Gamer, buy Pokemon because that can go forever, rent Pikmin because I can be good with one and done gameplay, and then return Splatoon because I clearly got them before they got me, and this entire endeavor is complete bullshit. Anyone who's played Splatoon knows exactly what Brennan Myers is talking
Which
about.
version? 1, 2,
Doesn't
or
matter.
3?
All Splatoons. I got them before they got me. Why did I explode? It's bullshit.
Yes.
That is why.
And then the slick of I looking at the field, I'm like, I think I got it, maybe. It's like,
oh man,
kind of like the blue shell, right?
Close call ones. Yeah. Yeah. It's like bullshit.
It's like the blue shell, right? Yeah, it's like
51-49. What are you talking about, cat? Get out of here.
41.2%. Or no, it's like, come on. Who does this math? Who's the mathematician over there?
Exactly.
Math magician.
Yeah, stupid
all right.
cat, man.
We got Chipotle Bear. He says, buy Pokemon. Millions of fans can't be wrong. Rent Pikmin. Return Splatoon. Oh, Mark, does that hurt you a little bit when people just return one of these? I mean, I know you gotta pick yourself, but it's like,
well, I have to, so I'm gonna have to. I'm taking in everything these guys are saying. The final one we have, MCAN 10. We're flipping the script here. Buy Splatoon.
We got a little bit of everybody. Yeah.
It's an amazing party game. Can't go wrong with having that one around when friends come over. Can't go wrong with just endless multiplayer. I'm going to add to this for MCAN 10. Can't go wrong with something that's online, that's multiplayer, that you can continue to just play rounds because it's different every single time. Absolutely. Yeah. Goodbye. Rent Pokemon. I enjoyed many of them, but never really remember finishing them. Yeah, I get that.
Have you finished all the Pokemon games, Mark, or is there anybody you left behind?
I have not played Black or White 2.
Are those DS games?
Those are DS, like original DS, and then 3DS had Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I played Sun, but not Ultra Sun. So there, yeah, I do have a couple of Pokemon blind spots, but any Pokemon game that I started, I think I finished. Maybe not full finish. Like Pokemon Legends Arceus. I finished that game, but like there's a whole bunch of other stuff to like complete the Pokedex and do a bunch of other things. I've only ever completed one Pokedex, and that was for Pokemon Blue. Very first one, my brother and I both had the opposite copies. A friend of ours found some kind of one of those cheats to get Mew. So we actually had a perfect 151 for Pokemon Blue and Red. But aside from that, I've never been a full Pokemon completionist, but I have finished the stories in, I think, all of them that I've played.
Wow. I mean, there's only been how many Pokemon games? I mean, are you talking about like just core, or are you talking like
just
Stadium
core? Oh, yeah, just
and
core. No,
Snap all of the dungeons?
I did finish the new Pokemon Snap, but never the original one.
Okay.
And yeah, like I've never played like or much of the mystery dungeons, never played the spin-offs. I'm talking, 100% just core franchise Pokemon mainline games. And like I said, I even skipped Black and White 2, the only official sequels to Pokemon games. And then like, I kind of assumed, and I don't know if this is fully accurate, but I kind of assumed that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were kind of like the Pokemon Yellow or Pokemon Emerald, like that, like deluxe version kind of thing.
Yeah.
But apparently they have different story elements. So it's kind of a combination of like a director's cut and that kind of thing. So I might have to, I think I've downloaded them on my 3DS. So I might have to do that at some point.
Okay.
But I definitely have some Pokemon glaring omissions.
And you're going to get to replace
part.
And you're going to get to replace them on the GameCube, right? Gale of whatever it's called, which I don't understand what that game was. And obviously all the other things that are coming out for it. So we shall see. Okay, Mark, I guess that's our last pick.
Also, Return Pikmin, yes. Never really got to the series. It's a personal return for me. So there's our picks. Or there's our community's picks. I'm very curious to see what you go on this one.
I am too, because quite honestly, it's going to be pretty slim pickings for me, but I have certain things about this that leads me to my choices.
Okay.
So I'm buying Pokemon just because, Mark, when I was a young officer in the Air Force, the Pokemon cartoon was just coming on TV, on the CW, whatever it was called. So I watched it. So I learned all about Pokemon and Ash and, Team Rocket. So I enjoyed myself so much. So I really enjoyed it. And then my son picked it up. And I totally got it. And he got into the cards. He loved all the games. And he's kind of bounced off because he got frustrated. He liked Arceus, but he got really frustrated with the performance. So I don't know if he's going to give Pokemon another chance, because now he's a certain age, because he did play Pal World. Because if you don't have Pokemons with guns, what are you going to do? So I'm going to say Pokemon, just because I think I understand the relevance. I love it. He had a Pikachu Build-A-Bear that I got to download a song to put into it, which is so cute. So love that. I'm going to rent
the Pokemon rap do you remember?
I would not even do well, but who's that Pokemon? I'm pretty good at who's that Pokemon.
Okay.
I can probably know that, but the Pokemon rap, it's kind of like the DK rap. I could probably start off with nothing, but I would make up my own words to go along because I would want to see confident. Yeah. Yes. So, Splatoon, I did beat the first campaign. Did not really get into it. I did not love the motion controls, but I thought, hey, this is so much better than I thought it was going to be. I'm like, there's no voice chat. What are we talking about? And then I tried Splatoon 2, didn't buy it for me. But and my son really liked some of that stuff. He got really good at it. And I got some of the Amiibo. I remember that. And I sold some of them. But I will stop here because I'm going to introduce a guy that we all know and love. Sean Capri has entered the podcast. Sean, thank you for joining us. But we are doing a really cool buy rent return. It's called Marky's Choice because we picked 3 of Mark's favorite franchises. So since you're showing up, I got to ask you this. What would you buy, rent, and return between Pokemon, Pikmin and Splatoon.
Oh man, these questions are too complicated for my liking. What did Mark? Did you already answer this, Mark? Did you?
No, I was just finishing mine.
No.
I was just finishing mine. Do you want me to finish mine,
if
Sean?
You need a couple
you
of
get
seconds
yours?
to pick. Yeah,
I don't know that I care.
What? I won't influence you,
Another
Sean?
daddy do all. Return them all. I don't care.
This is a big moment. This is the end of an era, and I came in trying to figure out: am I here to send heartfelt messages to Mark? Am I here to tell you you're making a giant mistake and I can't believe you're doing this to the world? Am I here to tell you this is the right choice and to honor the time that you've spent with us and the laughs that we've all shared and the journey we've been on? Or do I walk in and answer FMK about Pokemon, Pikmin, and Splatoon?
It can be all of them, Sean.
What
We just had one party crasher already, which was great.
Too much. I'm
dressed up
mentally
like the
unstable.
Joker.
I'm a mess. I can't.
Yes.
And you throw this at me. So yeah, I don't. Whatever. Rent.
Well, let me finish mine. Give yourself some time.
I don't care.
Look at Mark, gaze into his eyes, a Canardian connection coast to coast, and I will finish mine. That gives you time to get your nerve up, to say what you want to say in the world of Nintendo franchise and what you want to say to Mark. So I'm going to finish up to say, yep. Oh, you're already done. I'm done. I'm out of here. Well, I will say Splatoon. And then I'm returning Pikmin because I've never completed one. I hate the day-night cycle. So that is my take.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I hate the day-night cycle. I hate it. I feel rushed. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm like, oh, you got to leave and all your little guys will die. I feel like that's genocide. I don't like that.
Take them with you. How are you playing this game? You don't leave them behind.
Oh, nothing, Mark.
Yeah, they're disposable. I'm kind of with you, Todd.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you're renting. I'm renting Pikmin. I'm renting it. Oh.
Well, I'm returning it. I rented.
Oh, I'm sorry, returning it. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for the one that hits me, but apparently after there's been 4 that haven't, I should probably just move on. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Sean, do you want to give your picks now and then say your thoughts to Mark?
I don't. This is so brutal, you guys, because I'm not in a good spot with any of these games. Like, Pikmin is way too hard for me. It's like there's all this multitasking and the whistle, like it just kind of like makes my brain bleed right out of my eyeballs and my eardrums. Like it's not a good experience. I gotta call these guys back. It's like it's too much. It's way too much. So I think I'm probably gonna return that. I'll rent Pokemon. Because like once every couple of years, I fool myself into thinking this is the year I'll get into Pokemon. Like I understand these Pokemans. And Splatoon 2. Can I specify which one? 1 or 2? 3 for whatever reason.
One is mine because I love the campaign. The rest.
There you go. I will say, I think there may be video evidence of this somewhere because we've been doing this for so long. It's probably on a VHS podcast that we recorded back in the early 2000s. When I first saw Splatoon, they did that Nintendo Direct. I think it was the same one where they showed one of the Yoshi yarn games, and there was all the yarn in the background. Like they did that like deep dive in the developers, like where did these ideas come from? And when they were first explaining Splatoon, I'm like, that seems like a great idea. And I feel like I was the first one. I think I was the first one because everybody else was like, what is this Splatoon thing?
Voice chat? Where's the voice chat? No voice chat?
Then it came out and I was like, I'm not so sure about the Splatoon thing. That was the test fire. Then the real thing came out and I heard about this Inkstrike podcast and I got to buy it. I got to buy Splatoon. Yeah. So, I mean, like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Good choices.
Yeah,
good choices.
Inkstrike with Bobby was such a trip because I don't think I know I wasn't sold on Splatoon right away. And I don't think Bobby was and then we ended up doing a podcast about it. Like, what the hell?
He became a fiend.
I mean, that was Bobby, right? Like just even if there was a thread, a fiber of something to sort of like an idea of a podcast, it's like, well, just go right into it, man. Yeah, absolutely.
That's it. Yeah. Amazing.
So Mark, make your choices. Sean, prepare yourself.
My choices for this one, I'm gonna buy Pokemon because I've played, like we just discussed, I've played every single mainline Pokemon game. I have a Pokemon tattoo. Like it's in my blood, quite literally. So that and Finn is so into Pokemon and he now makes up his own Pokemon and gives them types
That
and
rules.
powers and special
Yeah.
moves. It's just great. I love it. And for a very similar reason, I'm going to rent Pikmin. Because Finn and I have replayed through all 4 mainline Pikmin games together. He loves anytime he can be the second player, whether it's controlling another person or just flinging rocks like you do in Pikmin 4. Absolutely loves it. Absolutely engaged and enthralled with the stories of all of them. And it was a really great kind of playthrough over the last year or so. Sadly, Splatoon is on the chopping block for this one, which hurts me to no end. But I think my heyday with Splatoon was like Splatoon 3, Inkstrike podcast time, like Splatoon 1 or 1 and 2. I mean, Inkstrike podcast days. 3 I enjoyed, but didn't hit as much as like the first 2, which is weird because it's on better hardware for all intents and purposes. Like, just seems strange, but Splatoon always has a special place in my heart, which is why it's killing me to return this. Todd, you monster.
Yeah, that's not a good choice.
So I call it Rookie choice.
Yeah, not a good choice. Just like quitting.
Exactly. So with that,
and now I start to get some shit from Sean.
And for anybody that doesn't know Sean, obviously there's a core component that goes through many of us, and that is Bobby Pauls.
Mm-hmm.
If Bobby Pauls and I didn't fight it out during the Wii U era and the 3DS era on the Nintendo voice chat forums, I would have not met Sean Capri. And if I had not done that as well, I would not known about Mark's podcast, and Mark wouldn't have reached out to me to make this show. So it's like a weird life. I mean, I've known Sean a long time. I've been on We the Gamercast. Sean, you've been on our podcast. We love you to death. We're so happy to see you with many more children than you started with.
Dude, that's exactly what I was thinking about. Like, just we've known there's lives of this now that weren't even around when we started.
Guys keep having kids. What's up with this? You know? Yeah. I mean, and when I first met you, you didn't have all these comic books behind you either. Look at that.
This is within 24 hours. We're moving, and so I've had to sort of like change up where everything is. And actually, this is a trick. This is actually real. But like behind the books, like these shelves are deep. Behind the books are all the other shit that I've had to find because I've had to stage our house, and people walk through and they want to buy it. And we got some feedback. They're like, "There's a lot of action figure stuff around."
A lot of toys.
Like, okay, I gotta do something about
books to make you seem more mature. Yeah.
Well, the books just cover up so nicely. Yes. Like there's Amiibo and Skylanders and a whole bunch of stuff just kind of like hiding behind. So, but you don't know that until I just. Until I know.
And I'm sure your realtor isn't going to show this podcast, but I want to thank you, Sean, because when I was putting this out there, I was putting a call out to say, hey, Mark's last hurrah. And you said, hey, can I come on? And I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah, this is better.
Because, the Canardians have to connect. So
I would not be going take it away the Canardian name if it wasn't for Sean. I don't know how many people know this, but Sean, I said something on a podcast with Sean, and I said a couple of fellow Canardians, and you just kind of like instantly perked up and was like, no, I think that's you. Like you're the Canardian.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh, I don't think so. And then you're like, yeah, no, you are. And I like legitimately created the Instagram account or the fucking Twitter handle or whatever it was like that night. Like I remember it was like, midnight or something when we got off the podcast and stopped chatting. And I like sat on my phone, like creating all these accounts, like absolutely wild. So
yeah, I don't think either of us were dads at the time yet, but I honed in on the dad energy on that one. The nice little like pun, a little word magic, a little word fun, word play. I like it, man. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Bobby would do that as well. Like the whole like Sean, like Connery, Capri, like the pants. Like Bobby did the same thing to me. Like his eyes perked up and he's like, I think he ended up saying it back to me. And I'm like, oh, maybe this isn't just a dumb thing that I thought of one time. Which actually maybe two things can be true at the same time. Maybe it's a thing, but also a dumb thing that I thought of. So there you go. Yeah. Sometimes that's all you need, man. Is just somebody to be like your hype man for a quick second and go like, hey, there's something to that. Keep going with it. I feel like that might be, this is what you're leaving, Mark. I still can't decide what angle I'm taking tonight. I don't know how Todd's doing. Wait, hang on a sec. Enough about Mark for a second. Todd, how are you? Are you okay? Like he's abandoning you. He's decided that his family or work or something else is more important. Are you okay? Has anybody asked you that yet?
if he's going on like an OnlyFans page, if he's going to do cosplay with only tops optional or bottoms optional. I'm not sure yet.
Don't
But
blame him.
my wife was actually talking to me. She was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I feel like I'm losing like, a part of my life that's been here for the last 7 years. I mean, every
Yeah.
2 weeks, Mark and I
That's
would connect,
crazy.
and it's kind of crazy but you know what? I understand it, man. He's going through so many life changes. Like you said, you didn't have kids before here. He didn't have a cat.
You weren't
All
married
these
when we
things.
started all this.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Todd
for him.
was still well into his 50s when we all started.
Exactly. Yeah. I look exactly the same. No hair.
You really do.
Yeah.
You do look the same. What the hell?
I do, except my son now is in a sophomore in college. So there you go, Sean. Now we're aging everybody because that's where we're at.
Your son's like his aging is way more damaging to me than probably anything else.
And he's got all his hair. Yeah.
It's like he's in Congress. It's like, no, I can't handle this. Like this
and he's
is
going to be
much.
a teacher, which is
I hate it.
A music teacher.
That's kind of what I'm talking about.
But I am so happy for everybody to go where they feel their passion.
Oh, that's bullshit. Well, are you serious?
I am, because I've seen Mark, like he's been so excited about doing hosting panels at HellCon, and he makes this awesome 3D like armor and stuff. I'm like, he's so talented, Sean. Follow him on Instagram if you guys aren't, because Mark makes this awesome, I'm wearing Deadpool and Wolverine, and Mark made an awesome helmet. He made a Captain Canadian, a guy that looks awesome, Sean. So I'm so happy because you know what? Follow your love, man. It keeps you grounded, and he can always come back here and crawl back and say, I made a mistake, and we'll haze him, and that's okay.
He will. Yeah. We all do. How are you doing, Mark? How are you feeling? Like now it's real. Now, like I've ended podcasts before, but I've continued on with other things. Like it's I don't know. Like, how are you doing with it?
I said before, like a little bittersweet. Been at this for a very, very long time with Warp Whistle, some other stuff before that, and then this show for a very long time. So, it's crazy to think about all the stuff that as a community we've all done and seen some changes and different things. But there's other things that I'm excited for as well. Finn is getting more and more into gaming and into YouTube. And the second that he realizes that we can combine those or like do some Twitch streaming and stuff, I think I'm going to have a little like YouTube Twitch streamer fiend on my hands. So and like, I'm not going anywhere. I can, I'm still going to be around. I'm still going to be doing something. So it's not like I'm turning off the internet and throwing my phone in the ocean.
It's right there.
Yeah.
It's right in your backyard. Just turn around. Hey, ocean.
There's in the ocean.
Yep. Yeah. You throw whatever you want in there.
I really could. Yeah. It's probably illegal.
Toxic waste. I don't know.
Who's gonna
trampolines hit Mark's house?
Yeah.
The trampoline that hit my house. Yeah. I could, throw that in the ocean. That'd be great. So it's bittersweet, but we'll see if it's the right decision. But for now, I think it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's something that these are the types of big decisions that you don't make flippantly. It's not in a moment.
Yeah,
it's something that you consider for a while. So if I'm being real, like this is kind of really what I wanted to jump on and kind of just connect with you on, because it's one thing, like it's just the passage of time, and we can talk about the Ink Strike days, we can talk about the Bobby days, those early times, and probably 2015, maybe 20. I think it was like you're coming on 10 years really in total. Yeah. And it's interesting that you guys talk about this, 7 years on this show. And I have no concept of time, obviously, because I really do. And I'm curious, Mark, where you're at with this. Like, how many episodes was Warp Whistle? Did you do 100 or did you do 200? How many? Like, it's not 7 years, but I think in the grand scheme of things,
we did that for 4 or 5, I think. But I think.
Oh, did you really?
I think we were up around 200 by the end of it.
Oh yeah. I will say the Warp Whistle podcast. Yeah. Number one, you need to share that theme song with everybody, because it just goes so hard. That song is still one of the best. It's incredible. And it also inspired a lot of what I ended up doing with, like, particularly the Xbox Drive in the early days, whether you realize it or not, because like you showed me that a podcast didn't have to be 60 minutes. It didn't have to be 90 minutes. Like a podcast could be 35 minutes. And,
or 2.5 hours sometimes.
Or what we had now end up doing, like, which is hilarious because we've so far gone there. But like, yeah, the early days of the Xbox Drive was me driving to work. So it was my commute. It could be 20 to 35 minutes depending on traffic. And that was basically
as long as your diet soda got you through, Sean.
I mean, yeah, or as long as the drive-through line was, and always get my coffee, of course. But not about me, but like you always were thinking outside of the box, and whether it was something maybe as small as like the length of a podcast, I've always thought that was important, and I think that that's what's bound us all together. And with Bobby sort of being at the center of it all, that was his mission. That was like what drove him forward was you got to do it differently. And one thing, I never really got beyond video games in my podcasting. And like you guys both really just your nerdism goes deep and wide. Like it's pretty remarkable. So, I don't know. I didn't really come in with like a real plan or agenda, no notes or anything. But I guess if I could, encourage you in your own way to really reflect deeply on the journey and all the steps and all the friendships and the people who have engaged with you along the way. You have brought light to their lives by doing this. You've really, you never really know as a podcaster where someone is when they're listening. They might be walking their dog. They might be in a hospital. They might be there for the birth of a child. They might be there for a tough time with a family member. It might just be a normal Tuesday. And so, I hope you reflect on all of the moments, the joy, the struggles, this was a really important chapter in your life, and maybe it opens back up again in the future. But like these times where you are sort of declaring, this is it for me. I hope you are able to, have that really, really soak in, because it's become who you are. And, you've really helped a lot of people along the way, and it's not typical. It's very special. So I just want to say congratulations, man. And I hope I hope you know how special a journey this is. A lot of dedication over the years, a lot of episodes and hours, man. Very cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it's not something I think is, I don't know if this is a Canadian thing or a me thing, but it's one of those things that it's hard to be like, oh yeah, impacted someone's life, or like, oh, someone, yeah, right. It's tough. But I was thinking about you earlier, weirdly enough, when I was thinking about this episode and going into it and announcing and talking about it being the last episode. And I remember you commenting when I ended the Warp Whistle podcast, and you said something about, seeing emotion, or you sent me a message about like, seeing some sadness. And I thought that I put on kind of a stronger air of confidence or something like that. And you kind of saw right through that. And I remembered that, and I was thinking about that earlier, and like, okay, I've got to go in like strong and smiling. And then you just jump in here and like say stuff like that. So thank you for really. Well,
it takes one to know one, man. Like I think it does. Maybe I'm just projecting. So I'm glad at least it resonates a little bit. Like it's important, and it takes a lot of time away from a lot of other things. Like you have chosen to do this, and you've chosen to do it for a very long time, and it's worthy. I hope you just honor that. Like this is, you could have done something else this whole time. So I just hope you kind of take stock in the lives that you've touched and the way that your own life has been changed. I know that my life has been changed, indescribably by podcasting, the people that we've met, and just the discovery of not just video games, but like really, this is going to sound so cliche and tropey, but whatever, like what humanity is like we get to connect with people in a way that for me just gives me hope for the future, that there is good people, because if left to our own devices, we can find only negativity. But here we get to connect at a personal level about stuff that we're really passionate about. We get to share it, and it creates meaning in the things that we love, and we get to share it with one another. So yeah, like I could go on, but I've probably overstayed my welcome already. But you are a special person, and you've dedicated so much. I'm honored to call you a friend. And I hope you come back. I hope you realize that one day this is a horrible, horrible mistake, and you've betrayed Todd and everybody who's ever put their trust in you. But yeah, man, congratulations on a good run, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I've already promised that I'm not going far. So,
yeah, you'll be in the ocean if you do.
Exactly.
You're trapped.
A mere 8-hour flight, Sean, from you to Mark.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're closer to Portugal. I'm pretty sure we've done the math on this. I think you're closer.
We've tried to do it. Yes,
so,
there we go.
I'll be on the seas trying to find the One Piece.
Is that One Piece? I was going to say, I feel like we've transitioned.
That's my next. That's why I'm doing this. I've decided to set sail, find the One Piece, become king of the pirates.
That makes sense.
I was trying to keep this a secret, but that's what I'm doing.
It's a great hat.
Yeah. Thank you.
I love that it's just there. That's not just something that you own. Like, it was within arm's reach. Like, that was just right there.
I mean, in my arm's reach, I've got a Steam Link
wardrobe right beside him. Like Ryan Turford. He's got all these like Dark Angel
props.
DVDs next to him.
He's got prop comedy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That is the end of my props, though, sadly. So
okay.
That's very cool.
You've expired my my prop reachability, but
and I appreciate your physical.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well,
Sean, thank you so much for everything.
Yes. Thank you, Sean, for jumping on. And I will probably need your advice, Sean, because I remember when you did the Xbox Drive and you went from how many different hosts and co-hosts
don't trust
and things
anyone.
Like that. That's why I'm like, I'm figuring I'm going to go
Look,
next.
he's
I'm
betraying you. He's telling you what to do. That's it. This is what they do. They leave.
I am not getting in the back of a Ford F-150 or whatever and unboxing a console. I'm just not doing that stuff. We'll see how it goes.
Then. Do it in a Tacoma.
Sure, whatever. Or a Mustang Mach-E. Yeah, I'll open the back up.
Yes, hang off the roof.
Sean,
Mach-E.
I'm so happy, Sean, you saw that note and you came on because you are a special part of our podcasting family. And we wish you luck with your move and your family. And oh my goodness, you're always a special place in our heart. And I will obviously always ask you to come back on. And
I would love to.
Stuff you love.
Yeah, I mean, and when I do,
whatever.
I will comment that Mark ain't here. I'll be like, hey, where did Mark go?
True.
Yeah,
give him crap.
Where's he at?
Exactly.
All right. I love you guys. Thanks for having me on. This is very cool.
All right. The guest appearances are over. Okay. Hopefully all this hijinks works. And we are going to get into what we've been playing. So Mark, take it away. I mean, are you just going to like tell Finn what you've been playing every week from now on?
Yeah, basically. I mean, he kind of dictates a lot of what I've been playing. But first, I got to geek out about a couple of things because we just talked to Sean Capri, and I'm going to share my geek outs. So I've got these new little things for my Switch Joy-Cons.
I asked you if you like made those yourself.
Yeah, I wish. I haven't seen any 3D printed, but they cost like $3 on AliExpress.
Oh, perfect.
So they were super cheap and incredibly easy to install. They came with everything you need, including the tool to pop the old ones off, and then new sticky strips to put on the inside of these. And then you really just
is that what they're? Do the original ones have sticky strips?
They have a tiny bit of like it's like a
adhesive.
light glue adhesive strip kind of thing.
Okay.
Honestly, don't even think you really need it. I think they would just because there are like snaps, so Clips. I think they just snap in, but. It's solved the problem of being able to just tell which switch is mine when they're both sitting on a table. And it's a first world problem, but I solved it for $3. So who cares?
Love that.
To get free shipping on that, because who doesn't want free shipping on a $3 item?
Buy more money, right? Spend more money. I had to spend more money. Yeah.
But I had to spend more money, but I also needed a Switch 2 case. And look at the stupid one that I got.
Oh, that's beautiful.
They actually unbutton. You actually unbutton Mario's things, and
you undress Mario. Just what Mark's been waiting for.
It's great. I've been waiting my whole life to take off those sexy plumber overalls, and I love it. There are zippers, so it's not like just held together by a couple of buttons, but like the buttons are pretty solid. Like it doesn't, it holds a bunch of Switch cards and there's enough room for there's a little pouch for like an accessory or something like that.
Sure.
But this is such a great little case. It's kind of like a hard shell-ish, but
slim. Yeah.
I had a great little trip to AliExpress. I don't shop on those kind of like Temu style AliExpress sites very often, but I gotta say, I'm very impressed with the quality of this stuff so far.
It's very fun.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
If anyone's curious, I can absolutely send links. But I'm sure, I mean, if you search Switch 2 Joy-Con strips or something, it'll come up. I saw someone else do it on Instagram and I was like, where did you get those? They're fantastic. And she was like, they're super easy to do. Here's the link on AliExpress. And I like legitimately, they were here very shortly after that. So even fast shipping. So I'm very much enjoying it. In terms of, he said, am I going to talk about Finn? I'm going to talk about 2 games that I was sent from our friends over at Outright Games. They were awesome enough to send a couple of games. Finn has discovered My Little Pony on Netflix. It was shown up in the kids thing.
I've heard
Netflix.
It's a good show. The new one, I heard it's very actually well written.
He likes it. I've watched a bit of it. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's there's a movie and a show, or a couple of movies and a show. He's watched at least one of the movies and part of the show. It's funny. It's it's a good cartoon, and he's watched like the How to Train Your Dragon stuff, and he goes through different phases of different cartoons. But this one was recommended after, I want to say, Sonic the Hedgehog. Because we just blew through I forget the Netflix exclusive.
Sonic Boom?
No, it wasn't Boom. It was the one where it's like alternate realities and stuff.
Okay.
Anyway, so we finished that one. We have watched Sonic Boom as well, and this one was recommended. And so he's in his little My Little Pony era. So they sent 2 games, which was phenomenal and incredibly nice. So I got a Maritime Bay Adventure and Zephyr Heights Mystery. They're both great. He loves them both. He's been able to play them both on his own. I can jump in at different points for 2-player mode. But yeah, he's very much enjoying the My Little Pony space right now, which is great. And it's something funny.
You call him a brony now?
Family.
Is he a brony?
A brony, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. Sure. Which is hilarious to me because, and I just talked about this with my family over the weekend. My GI Joes and my action figures used to have My Little Ponies as well, because my best friend growing up was a girl who lived next door. So her Barbies went on missions with GI Joes. My GI Joes rode My Little Ponies into battle.
Like cavalry.
Absolute, interchangeability growing up with boy toys, girl toys, all that kind of shit. So, so seeing Finn continue that tradition in our family, this weird unspoken tradition that I didn't like push on him or do anything. He just kind of said like, what's this? And I was like, play it, bud. Let's go. Like the same thing we do for any cartoon. Cause I pretty much trust like most of Netflix is like, if it's on the kids profile, it's probably going to be pretty appropriate. So there's not much I hold back. And especially if it's a franchise or a, IP that I'm familiar with, I'm just play it. Let's go. So it's kind of cool to see, like where it's gone since I was 4. And
it's like not the old school where I used to watch it. My Little Pony, My Little Pony. Yeah. It's changed so much. Yeah.
But they've kept it relevant. They've
good writing.
Like the songs are catch. I had a song stuck in my head like earlier today, and I was making up lyrics for it. But they're pretty great. So if you haven't checked them out, if you have a My Little Pony fan in your family, Maritime Bay Adventure is the one we spent more time in. But again, Zephyr Heights Mystery, Maritime Bay Adventure, they both run very well on Switch 2. They are Switch 1 games, but as with most of the stuff on Switch 2, load times can be a little bit faster. Frame rates don't dip. It just kind of like instantly looks better, which is nice. And those games I think were also just on sale or might still be on sale.
Yeah, there's a big Switch sale going on right now. There's a lot of sales.
Yeah.
Mark, where are you at now? You have 2 Switch 2s, and Finn has what?
I passed him down my OLED Switch.
Ooh, man, that kid is living large. Logan has a Switch OLED too.
Yeah. I mean, it was I'll be completely honest. It was a perfectly selfish move on my part because I was like, I don't really, the Switch 2 is so expensive. It's like,
I was wondering if you're going to trade it in, get a Switch Lite for him for like $150.
That's kind of what I was thinking at first. Yeah. And I said, by the time I sold the Switch and and bought a Switch Lite, and he also likes being able to play on the TV. So I was like, well, I'm still going to have to get make sure that all the games are switching between the Lite and my Switch 2 and all that kind of stuff, which we still sometimes do because it's very easy to like swap the virtual game cards and stuff. And the controllers all work except turning the Switch 2 on, which is stupid, but whatever.
It's very odd. It's like, it's a mild inconvenience.
Who made that decision? Why is that?
It's all their systems, right? It's all their, Somebody mentioned, I'm like, oh, you can't do that? Anyway, oh, that's weird. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it. I was just basically too lazy to sell mine. We sold Loren's Switch OLED, the original. So, so it was really just a convenience thing of me being too lazy to sell 2 of them and try to buy a Switch Lite and just like, what's the he was already familiar with it. All his saves were on there, his profile. So it was like a no brainer kind of call. But that's his. And awesome enough, these 2 My Little Pony games are the first games that are 100% his on his profile.
Nice.
He's gotten, with a caveat, the first digital games. So we've got a couple of there's a Kirby Star Allies physical cartridge that we got him.
He can use,
that he, but no, I bought it for him, kind of thing. But so that's like his game, but
it's a physical, he can put in his system.
It's a physical game.
This is now his account.
This is
with digital games
on his account, digital. I didn't cash them in on my account at all. If I want to put them on the Switch 2,
you got to borrow his
games. Transfer them from his. It's borrowing his games. So he gets a big kick out of that. And is very,
you can't
very
have
proud.
My games. Oh my goodness.
Right. Because everything else is mine, right? And it's so funny. Like a lot of, he loves playing with Amiibo, and I have like some little One Piece figures and all that kind of stuff. And like any superhero figures that I collected and stuff growing up, a lot of the toys he plays with were or are mine technically. Mm-hmm. And so he's started to develop this kind of thing of like, well, can I get my own One Piece
ownership?
Crew?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I, and like, we got him Ninja Turtles, and his Ninja Turtles are next to my Ninja Turtles. And it's like, but it's, he wants his own stuff, and I understand that fully. So he was really, really proud of these 2 games, being able to, we went on his Switch, we typed the code in on his profile, the first things he's ever downloaded himself from the eShop. So really, really want to give a special shout out to Outright Games for making that happen for him as well. That it's not, he was super pumped when I bought him that copy of Kirby Star Allies as a physical game, but these are the first one. He's like, and they're downloading on mine for me. I was like, yeah, this is you.
That's awesome.
We just mentioned this Switch sale. I do want to mention one game I got on that. Again, we just watched the Sonic stuff on Netflix, and we've watched the movies. So
does he like
Sonic
the movies? Logan and I love the movies.
Yeah, he
they're
does.
Great.
I know he saw 1 and 2. I don't know if he's watched 3 yet.
3 is so funny, Mark. Logan and I just really cracked up. I just thought it was amazing. I mean, Jim Carrey is in it for me. I mean, the humans, other than that, don't matter, but I like the characters. So the dance scene with old Robotnik and young Robotnik.
Oh, I have to.
It's
watch
top
this
tier
now. I have to.
Yes.
So with the Sonic love in the house, I did buy Sonic Superstars. We've played it a bit, not enough for me to like give it a full on review, but it's good so far. It's side scrolling Sonic. It looks great on the Switch 2. Runs super well. The stuff that went on sale did kind of piss me off because there's no upgrade path for was it Sonic Generations times Shadow?
The Shadow, yeah, I saw that too. And I'm like, that's the game actually I want to play. So I'm I'll wait.
We saw a trailer for that, and Finn was like, "Can we buy a new Sonic game?" And I was like, "Yeah, buddy, let's look these up." And it was the Switch 2 versus the Switch 1, and again, we're trading games back and forth. So if there's no upgrade path to a Switch 2 version, then I have to buy the Switch 1 version if he wants to play it on his console, which he absolutely would. So we kind of like put that on a shelf for now and bought Sonic Superstars instead. But that was the game we originally wanted to get on the sale. The
looks
Switch
cool.
2 version
I wanted to try it.
Wasn't on sale. The Switch 1 version was. The Switch 2 version, no, and no upgrade path. And it was Sonic Superstars became a very easy choice. And I think bright, colorful, and easy enough for Finn to play. So we've been having fun with that. The main thing I've been playing, aside from all this stuff for my son, is I'm hot and heavy back into Tears of the Kingdom. Fully restarted my save, wiped the entire thing. I know there's an extra save or whatever on there now. I was like, no, too tempting to go back. Wipe, start from scratch. I started naked in a cave and am enjoying the hell out of it on Switch 2. It looks phenomenal. It looks so good, and I've been having so much fun with it. My wife, who also never finished that game, is like, damn it, now I have to get back into it too. So Tears of the Kingdom household, which is awesome.
With the free upgrade if you have NSO, which is nice.
Yeah, it's great. A ton of Switch 2. We might talk about this in a bit, but my Xbox has been not used as much. Even like Fortnite on Switch 2 is like fantastic. And if I'm already playing Tears of the Kingdom and want like a little Fortnite palette cleanser, it's right there. So I haven't been going to the Xbox as much.
It's
before we talk about Xbox's BS.
Oh, we will talk about that. Yeah. And it's funny because with Switch having DLSS 1 or 2, I don't know what it is, they can really pull off stuff that no other console can do because everybody else is on AMD hardware, which is FSR, which is not as great. DLSS is great. So I'm like, I think we're going to see, and they even said like Switch 2 is closer to Series S than anything else, which is like, that's amazing. It's a little bit,
there's like the Digital Foundry breakdowns and stuff, like really going into like Hogwarts.
Well, even developers talked about that. They said, hey, it's great. So I'm like, that's awesome news. And it makes me feel very good for future ports and where we're going to get a lot of life on Switch 2. But for me, I got a new, I
saw this in Discord. This looks awesome.
It's really good, Mark, because it's not that expensive. It's the Savage Raven, which sounds like the most 90s, like edgy thing, but it's got the Neo grip. And the thing that makes it good is it actually has all these cool grips you put on here, and there's 3 that you can swap out. So if you want something a little bit deeper, whatever, which is cool. But the big thing I've seen with a lot of Switch cases is they don't let you use the kickstand. It's like they cover it up completely, and this docks completely. And it was like $30.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's great. Awesome. And you can swap out these things. And I mean, I haven't tried it yet, but I mean, like, it's awesome because I'm like, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to feel better, and I want to use my kickstand. That's all I wanted to do. And it docks. So there's nothing there. I know people like the Satisfy grip, but that feels like it's a construct. It's so big and huge. This is cheap. It's not bad. I think I paid like $25 for it. So super, super easy. So I like it. I got a screen protector. Please get a screen protector because the Switch has like a weird plastic cover over its glass. So you got to cover that baby up, but they're cheap. So I don't need a lot of things. The only thing, Mark, and I'm going to ask you this, I kind of wish it had adapters that you could then add in your Joy-Cons if you like the original Joy-Cons or your Pro-Cons, which I've got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? just like an
Yeah,
adapter,
no, I
just
get
like
you.
goes on because they're compatible. They won't charge, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, I wish somebody would come. I saw some adapters out there, but it's like, it's very funky. It's weird. It's like, hey, here's the 3D printing thing. Like, no, I want
Right.
somebody to create that. So I am hoping Nixie and other creators will make
I'd say give
Procons.
that time. And
Yeah.
I'd say the easiest one to do is going to be someone figures out basically just a magnet.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they're going to manufacture this part and just have a rail built into that.
Yeah, your
So
rail is put
basically-
in, and it maybe isn't as big, but that's okay. People want to use their old stuff. Yeah, and it would fit
I think
really well
it's-
for my bulky like Binbach or Nixie or whatever you got that they're like for your Procons, and those are great. So and they work as well. So and Nintendo's not doing it, so I'm just waiting. Like that's why I'm like I'm always looking every day on YouTube and let's say third party Joy-Con 2s. Never know if it'll happen. So I got this. It's great. It works well. It's very usable. I love it. But yeah, get a screen protector for your Switch 2 as much as best.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Have you used Switch 1 Joy-Cons with the Switch 2? Like personally?
I haven't had a reason to.
Right.
I sold my Pro controller to get my Pro controller 2. Right. So I haven't had a need for the other things. The only thing I will say, Mark, is you talked about like Finn going on his path towards, independence. Logan is now 19 and an adult, and it was like not letting me turn his account into an adult account, like supervised. So I will say this. There's a point when you'll have to say, Finn, you just got to be on your own. I'm going to trust you to be an adult. But that's long away. Like our Steam accounts, Logan's doing stuff on Steam that I don't want him to be on my Steam account. He can be part of my Steam family, but if he's doing VR chat, I don't want my friends to know that. So it's a weird thing. Right. So be very careful. Like when your son asks you, Dad, can I play Doom? Like, I got to upgrade your age so you can play it, which happens on Xbox.
Right. Okay,
So be very careful that you document everything, because if you don't get it right, then you'll be calling Nintendo help. Like, hey, how do I make my son old? So, yeah.
I do like having that to hang over him anytime he's being bad. Like, I can shut that switch off from my phone.
Yes.
So that has become like, a very like a subtle threatening tool when he's really not listening. And just, like, all right, bud, like screen time's getting over, that's
think about like Sean, our buddy Sean Myers. Henry's getting a little bit older now and he wants to play like mature games. Like, I didn't lock you down. I didn't remember it. Like, it just becomes a nightmare because you're like, oh, what was your passcode? What was your email address? It just becomes a nonsense. So please, parents, document all your stuff so you don't get into nonsense. And then you have to like, oh, I guess we're screwed. So there we go. But when we get to games, I finally finished South of Midnight.
Woo.
It's an amazing game, but it has its challenges. South Midnight is the game that's all about the girl who is trying to save her family from some weather-related problems. There's a lot of injustice in the South, and it's really good. The combat is very repetitive. It doesn't feel like it's worth everything else, but the music, the storytelling, just everything about it else, the environment it builds is amazing. So the issue is it's only on Xbox, it's on Game Pass, and it's on PC right now. So I hope this does get released on other platforms, because I would hate for this team with Compulsion Games that this game underperforms and it just doesn't get another opportunity. We're going to talk about Xbox and their developers and their studios, that I feel like sometimes that a game can really perform well from a critical lens, but it does not always perform from a commercial sense. So I feel like this game is at that point. It's on Game Pass, but I'm not sure people are actually buying it, sending out. It's a franchise worth moving on forward. I don't know if this franchise will have more than just one entry. Maybe it needs it. I don't know. When it ends the story, it feels like it's very much contained. So I'm not sure.
That's not always a bad thing, though.
No.
Like if that, there's something to be said about that, like building a game that has a definitive, just like it's done. Because so many things are set up as a sequel or like as a franchise or whatever. And it's like, you left this thread open, you left that thread open, and then your director leaves or your studio gets shut down.
Yeah.
Or it just doesn't sell enough or whatever. And we see this in like movies and video games and all that kind of shit. And it's like, do just like make it, even if you have a franchise in your hopes and dreams, like nothing's guaranteed. So make things self-contained. It was one of the biggest problems with the Acolyte was left on a kind of had the most interesting stuff in the final bit. But it wasn't enough to save like a season that was so busy setting up all this stuff for another season that it never got or will never get, whatever. And it's like, stop spending your whole first season or your whole first shot setting up what's supposed to come later. Because if that's not interesting enough and self-contained enough, then, that's it. This might be your one shot. So I kind of appreciate someone just being like, we have a story to tell. It's one story and we're telling it right now. Cool. So that kind of sounds appealing.
It's nice because it does feel like I landed, I finished. I don't have to feel like I'm in a cinematic universe. I'm just completing a great story with an amazing cast, and I really enjoy that experience. It's one of the games that failed, but only had one opportunity, and I'm okay with that. So, Eternal Darkness, Nintendo, come on, put it on the NSO GameCube service. There we go. So I can't recommend that game. If you do have access to that game, play it, at least see it. The music is amazing. It's a great experience. It's very fun, very family friendly. There's not much to it that would be like, oh, I can't watch that because there's horror. So, Mark, I would just say play it for like an hour. See what you think.
Yeah.
It's very cool. And then great. I will say this though. I also played it on my MacBook. Plays great on streaming. So if you just want to play it when you're not on your TV, it works great.
I very much appreciate the quest for that. I love playing Game Pass stuff on Quest when I don't have access to my TV. And lately, since the Switch 2 has come, I've been not playing that as much. But damn, it's a great option when a game works well on like streaming Game Pass kind of thing. It's fun.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forgot that Game Pass is on Quest. If you have a Quest, it's there. You can buy the Xbox version. It's not available in Canada. We talked about that a little bit, maybe, but it's there. I own my Quest. My son uses it. I don't use it that much because he has absconded it, so it's okay. Other than that, I played more Doom of the Dark Ages. That's a game where I feel like if you don't keep with it, my skills suck. So I'm like, I'm back in and I'm keep dying. So I do appreciate the game, but I don't know if I'll finish it. And I'm okay with that. Not every game has to be finished. And then the last game I played was called Wayfinder. This is a Steam game. I'm getting back into Steam. This is a game by, it's called the Airship Syndicate. They made all of the Darksiders games. Then they made a couple of turn-based RPG games based on Battle Chasers. Joe Majura runs the studio. He also did a game of he did a League of Legends turn-based game as well. And so this game, Wayfinder, is like $15. It's only on Steam. It's not on consoles yet, I don't believe. But basically, they said this is going to be an MMO. Well, they realized we don't have the tools, the support to make this an MMO RPG. That will continue it. We've converted it now to a single player game that you can play cooperatively with other people. So if you like his art, I've loved his art. He started as an X-Men artist. He went on to do other things. He's amazing. And I started the game and it's really fun. I got it for like $14. So it's very affordable, very cool. You can choose your class. I choose I guess you call it a warrior with a lot of that, like, I can go and melee, do those type of things, but you can choose other classes too. And it's very cool. You do feel the bit of feeling like it is a MMO they converted to a single player game, but I'm liking it. I like it. I think it's okay for $15. Not bad. I love the art style. I loved Darksiders. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I just looked up a couple of clips. It looks really cool. I love it. Like you said, love the art style. And the action looks great. I love the mix of like you can choose someone with a gun or you can choose someone with a massive sword or two small swords and change up the gameplay that way depending on how you feel. That's cool.
Yeah, not every game can support like being a live service game with lots of content, and as we've learned, it's the road to ruin in most places.
Yep.
So I'm glad they chose that pivot, and I think it's working for them. I will be curious to see where it goes next. And one of my like people I want to talk to in our Spotlight podcast is Joe Majura. I love him so much. I would love to talk to him. If anybody knows Joe Majura, let me know. I would love to talk to him. Oh, well. So with that, Mark, that is it for what we've been gaming. But we got to get into the socials because there are some people that they have some messages for you before we get into the main topic of the show, which is the bonus round. So let's start with some friends. And one of those friends is Chipotle Bear. He says, Mark embodies the word nerd in the best way you can imagine. His love and passion for gaming, Star Wars, superheroes, and the like is paramount, and he is serving as a true role model and Jedi Master for the next generation. The minute I met Mark on co-op mode, I knew I had another lifelong friend. I will miss Mark hearing his voice in future episodes, but I know he's not done with content creation, and I'm excited to see what he does next.
Thank you.
The Winter Gamer says, Mark, it's been a privilege and a pleasure listening to you over the years. Your joy for games and Star Wars and how you podcasted about them brought such joy to my ears, especially in the last few years. Good luck with whatever you do next, and may your auto-saves save your A and B true, your captures catch the awesome and funny moments of your gaming.
Amazing. Thank you.
Siege. This is Chris, 1 hour.
Yeah.
One decision. He says, Mark, you Canadian Casanova. So sad to hear you're retiring from the SFU crew, but glad to have collaborated with you over the years. You always had a positive spin on the gaming landscape, a Nintendo aficionado, and for some reason, like Star Wars. All kidding aside, all the best, and hope you still have time to game.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you.
Marcus O'Neill, 79. Hi, Mark. Is that like the Tommy? So, hi, Mark.
Yes. Hi, Mark. Oh, hi, Mark.
I shared this quote from Fred Rogers with my dad when he retired years ago. Often when you think you're at the end of something, you're at the beginning of something else. Your voice will be missed, but I sincerely hope you'll relish the extra time you now have with your family, gaming, or something new, perhaps yet to be discovered. A hobby. Thanks again for welcoming me onto co-op mode earlier this year, and all the best in the future.
Thank you so much.
Schloss Ritter, the man we don't know his name, we think we do, but we aren't going to divulge it. He says, I happened to start listening to SFU around the same time that Mark joined, so I hardly can think of what it was like without him. Good journeys, and cheers to whatever life takes you next.
Thank you.
Lamorta Savage, or Savage, because I live in Savage, Minnesota. After countless quests, epic boss battles, and leveling up the podcast game, it's time to hang up the headset and log out. Your voice has been a guiding NPC, a fearless co-op partner, and sometimes even the final boss of truth. You set off on this next real-life adventure. May your adventure be full, your health bar strong, and your XP ever growing. Thanks for inviting me on your podcast a few times. Definitely was a blast talking all things game. I wish ye fair winds and full sails until we cross paths again. Yo-ho, and off ye go. Lamorta Savage.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
Carly, we've podcasted many times.
Oh, yeah.
SCG, Carly K. Mark was truly a delight to talk, always coming in with unique perspectives, quick humor, and good vibes. Thanks for being such a welcoming personality, Mark.
Thank you.
Eric, aka another Canadian. Mark, without podcasting, just think of all the extra time you'll have to dedicate to eating garlic fingers, Moon Mist ice cream, Donair, and other East Coast exclusives. All the best.
Hell yeah.
Once again, lying Canadians, we don't know what these things are.
Thank you, Eric.
Jam Pack Sam. 7 years is an incredible run. That's a ton of great laughs and awesome conversations. Absolutely something to be incredibly proud of. Congrats and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Gimpy J.
These just keep coming.
I recorded a number of episodes of SFU with Todd pre-co-op mode, but I finally get to record an episode of co-op mode with both Todd and Mark a year or two ago. Mark has an enthusiasm about gaming in general that is hard to match. He's not shy to share his thoughts. After recording that episode, we bonded a bit over emulation devices and even put me in touch with a publisher so I could access more games for review. My youngest is still obsessed with that Paw Patrol game to this day, so thank you. You'll surely be missed on co-op mode. Cheers.
Amazing. Thank you. Yeah, that was Outright Games, I believe. They've been.
It's amazing all the support we had with different developers. I know Ubisoft Canada helped us out with some codes, and you've got some stuff. So that was awesome. I'm glad as even the smallest of the small indie podcasters that we got some support. So cool. Luke Lore, Mark, congratulations on lifting our medium up for 7 years. Your hard work and dedication to the craft showcase exactly how our hobby is about. Joy. May the force be with you.
May the force be with you, Luke. You are phenomenal.
Corey from Boss Rush. Mark, we go way back, all the way back when I was still doing DNA podcast gaming and you were doing Warp Whistle with your brother. I've always loved your positive, constructive, and humbling tone and how you talk about your games. When you started doing co-op mode with Todd, I was ecstatic. You contributed so much to what I love about Secret Friends Unite and help build the network into something I've truly been inspired by to model us after. You've always been a great colleague, an even better friend to me and others in our circle. You've inspired us all, whether you know it or not, to be better. We'll miss you in this space dearly, especially because now there's no one to keep Todd and Charlie in line. Just joking. But I hope whatever is next for you is an even greater adventure. For myself and all of us at Boss Rush Media and the Boss Rush Network, thank you all. You've given us both the SFU and Boss Rush communities, your friendship and the laughs. May the force be with you always. And you know what? Big shout out to Corey because he asked us to do a nomination for his show and the awards there, and we had a great time doing it.
Yeah, Corey and everything they do over at Boss Rush is so great.
They're so enthusiastic. I was just on the show with them, and they have so much fun.
Yeah, world class. Thank you.
Corey is the hardest producer in gaming. He is out there everywhere doing new graphics. And he says like, "Oh, I got bored and redid our website." I'm like, Corey, you got kids. How are you keeping this going? But he does it and he loves it. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Joey Ferris. Hey, Mark. Thanks so much for having me on your show. I'm sorry we couldn't figure out that last episode. You invited me. Zencaster, you bastard. A long story for the viewers wondering. Yes, Zencaster. It was always a blast chatting with you about games and fatherhood. And I will fondly remember our times on the various podcast Facebook groups we met each other on. So many I forgot. LOL. I hope your time podcasting has been good to you, and I will miss you dearly. Rest in peace, Mark. Oh, God, that sounds dramatic. Oh, my God.
Bleak ending. Thank you, Jerry.
Yes. Do you have your tombstone ready, apparently? Oh, well.
I've got to 3D print it, yeah.
Okay, good to know. Famous Seamus. Hey, Mark. I just wanted to thank you for all these years of podcasting. I was first introduced to you thanks to seeing you in an episode of the Warp Whistle podcast back at what I think was the first or second CaperCon.
First CaperCon. Very first one.
I then went on a special episode of the Warp Whistle podcast by Nintendo Indie Direct. I had a fantastic time, and it was how I met Joe, aka Mr. Badbit, from the Trophy Room. I also had fun connecting with other gaming podcasts thanks to you. Thank you for helping me pass the time during long bus rides or doing busy work, and just being a decent and nice guy and a good friend. And we had Famous on our podcast as well. It was very fun. Super guy.
Famous is someone I am always excited to see IRL and showing up in Discord or anywhere else that he shows up. Amazing guy.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes. And then lastly, Sean Nias. Mark, on a personal and professional level, my family has absolutely loved your podcast during COVID. You and Todd gave us something to listen to, bring us all together around gaming. We loved your Nintendo overviews, even though Henry did not appreciate you nominating Tears of the Kingdom as your game of the year. But we still do love you. I wish you all the best. You are a 1 in a million podcast, or from your Star Wars perspectives to your gaming perspectives. I just can't thank you enough for everything you've done to bring me joy as a gamer, even though my son Henry says I suck. Oh, Sean. Yeah, beat him back for that.
Am I going to be disappointing Henry here by like my last episode saying I'm back into Tears of the Kingdom? Is that
no. You know what? Giving kids a disappointment is part of being a dad. That's okay. I really, really cannot say to you and to the Secret Friends Unite family, you guys are awesome. And Mark, I wish you the best, bud. Don't be a stranger. And then Sean put a note here because we know what Sean is going through right now. It's tough. But he says, Todd dictated it because I can't feel my fingers because of being hit by a car. And folks, Sean is recovering. He's doing his best. And we will have him on Waiver Wire podcast. But, Sean is one of the best people. But he says, I hope you can decipher my dictation. I think it all worked out.
I think so.
Yeah.
And Sean gave me a call, like I said, right before we started recording. So,
and he also left a question for us.
Yeah. And a question. So I can't thank Sean and his family enough for everything over the years. And he's just such a nice, like, who gets hit by a car and is just like, hey, I want to leave you some positive messages. Like, dude, that's the time when you can just be like, I'm not typing anything to anyone. Like, I'm just playing games or just binge watching something. Just bring me some soup and call it a day. And this guy's still out there trying to make people's day brighter. So, thank you to everyone. And
I remember when we did the co-op mode controller that Henry designed. We did that, and then the last thing that that team has done was they brought in some new listeners to our show. So they are a great part of this team. They are considered part of the Secret Friends Unite family. Sean's been a good friend of mine for the last 20 plus years. So I'm glad that we've been able to expand that to everybody on the show, because Sean's a great guy. He's got great kids, and we love him to pieces.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Mark, before we get into the bonus round, we do have one question that you put in the chat. This is from Sean. He says, for Mark and Todd, what is your best gaming memory? My son and I have come to the conclusion, listening to your podcast, the gaming community is bringing us joy. Mark, thank you so much. So what is your best gaming memory?
Gaming memory. Whew. That's a tough one, man. That is like we're going.
It's all encompassing, right?
Yeah, I can barely remember time in my life when video games weren't a thing. So you've got like generational gaps of amazing memories. Everything from like, I remember when my dad bought Super Mario Brothers 3 for us. And it told us he had like a special present for us. And then they were like painting the house or something like that. And so like got us paintbrushes. And we were like, great, child labor. What is this? And
I remember a certain Tom Sawyer, I think, had to do that, right? Or he talked somebody out of doing his work.
So he could see, the thing was like he had it hidden in his pocket or in his shirt or something like that. So like the game was like kind of hidden. So like when you like as soon as he moved the paintbrushes, he was like, "These are our paintbrushes here. This is for you guys." So we'd get out of their hair while they were painting the house, I think.
Yeah.
So and it was like Super Mario Brothers 3, which was amazing. And like straight through like getting I already mentioned like Pokemon Red and Blue, like playing Pokemon with my brother and friends and like having that kind of like schoolyard before the internet kind of like, here's how you get Mew. Oh, he's actually under the truck. Like all those like crazy gaming rumors that you'd always hear. And some of them turned out to be true and others totally weren't, like cheat codes in Mortal Kombat or finishing moves or whatever. Like all that stuff is amazing. Growing my group of friends here. And something that Sean said before of like, you know, this whole community of gamers and makes the internet such an amazing place, rings so true to me and has over the years, where I live in a pretty small place. Things like CaperCon that you mentioned didn't exist. So if you didn't like play hockey growing up, which I didn't, you know, you kind of like felt like gaming and that kind of stuff was a little bit on the outskirts, and you had like your little group of friends, which was awesome. And I have so many great memories of that group of friends playing GoldenEye, Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, you know, just like all of those things, and that evolving onto like Gears of War, getting online multiplayer and being able to play while like we were all going off to different universities or like all in different places. Like that group of friends, and then expanding that with online gaming and with these communities, like how you and I met and like how we've met all of these people. Gaming's been threaded into my life for so long. It's hard to pick a single one. And new best memories happen every day with me now because Finn's so into gaming that, you know, we just completed, like I said, we bought about maybe a month ago or so the Kirby Star Allies, and we've already beaten the story, but then unlocks bonus levels in different modes and all that.
Yeah, you're getting the Switch 2 version to do more stuff?
Oh no, that's Forgotten Land.
Forgotten Land.
That's coming in
right.
August.
Yeah.
Can't wait to play that one. But Kirby Star Allies for Switch, we played a level today that was just like this bonus level after you finish the game and had so many cool things. And the both of us were just looking at each other like, this is amazing. This is awesome. Like high fives all around. Like it was just such a cool moment. And like,
great.
Just those little things. Like Kirby's never been one of my top franchises, but he has loved Kirby, and I've played so many of the games just because of him. And being able to have that like little buddy to fist bump on the couch when like something awesome happens, or when we beat a boss or whatever, is so amazing. And then being able to share that with people like Sean and Henry and Stella, and know that other families are connecting, playing games, and seeing how they connect, and like taking that and learning from Sean and how he raises his kids, and being like, I kind of want Finn to turn out like Stella and Henry. So like, what are you doing right? Cause I want to do that. So it goes both ways. And you know, it's amazing, but yeah, every single day there's something new that it's like Finn didn't want to go to bed tonight. He wanted to skip his books, and we usually read like 2 books a night. And he wanted to skip his books tonight so he could watch me play Tears of the Kingdom.
A
little bit more. So I was like,
nah.
He was like, Dad, you got to get up to that ship in the. It was the ship, the Rito ship in the clouds, the one that's causing the storms. He's like, you have to get into that ship. So we're bouncing on the little ships to get up there and all that kind of like. But he was like hanging off everything, saying, you know, and he's like, Dad, I finished. He wanted a bedtime snack of yogurt, and he was like, I finished my yogurt. Can I have like 2 more minutes until you get back to the ship? I was like, yeah, don't tell your mom. Let's go. So
that's how it works.
It's so great, man. It's amazing. So I want to keep having those best gaming memories all the time.
They don't stop.
No. what's some that stand out to you? I just gave like a full life story. So you're going to be like, yeah, it was when I got Halo. Like,
Mark, that's a good question because there's been so many elements of my life that I've been like, oh my God, I remember when I got the Atari 5200 when my parents said, what do you want for Christmas? But that was not a great system. Then I think about when I bought the NES for my friend that lived two doors down. He got it at a flea market. I got the NES, the Zapper, the Rob the Robot. But I really think, those best gaming moments in your life are the people you play with. And I think about Rock Band. Sean, myself, and my friend Brian Cole, who lived in Minneapolis, we got together to do Rock Band, just hangouts, drink beer, and sing songs. It was so much fun because Brian was not a gamer. Sean was. And I was an extreme gamer, and we just got together and just had a lot of fun. And Rock Band brought us together. I mean, I can also think about Destiny and the fact that I remember I wanted to do my first raid, and I couldn't find people to play with, and it was never going to work out. So I remember on my birthday, I said, hey, does anybody want to do a raid with me? Because I need to do a raid. And I found people from like Scandinavia that said, yes, we'll take you through the raid. Let's go. And they took me through it. It was amazing. And I think about, how does that even happen? So I think about those times. I remember like playing a little bit of Planet when I had people over my house. We played it, and there was a fart rocket level. We laughed our butts off. I remember playing Destiny with friends. I remember playing Destiny with my son. I remember Logan doing Mario Maker levels with Corey and giving him his level and driving him nuts. So there's been a lot of great fun times that I just think about. I remember the one time we actually played together, Mark. We played the Gears of War. What was it called with Sean? But he had issues. It was just like a joke. But we played it and we had fun. Yeah. And that's what it's all about. It's not necessarily what you do. It's what you do it with. So I don't really have a lot of key moments, but I have moments I know that I had it with people that I really cared about. So that's it. And I remember, and Destiny was a big part of my life. I remember Ray Azorio doing the Destiny Alpha, which brought me into contact with Lee Navarro, which, Lee has been a big part of our lives, and he does Extra Life with Sean, and then I met other people through Destiny, Corey, and it's just kind of crazy, this game. I mean, you had experience with Destiny too as well. So it's like all these things are just amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like you said, the community coming together, whether it's like random people that you just kind of join a looking for game group or something like that. Or those little kind of things of the non-gamer memory of like Rock Band just snapped in my mind. My grandmother never played a game in her life and ended up winning against my brother in Wii Sports. And it was like, I thought you played games. I thought this is what you did. Like he never lived that down until the day she died. Like that was still a laugh that we got. I think people were still laughing about it, like at the funeral or wake, just being like, okay, well, she went to the grave keeping her unbeaten Wii Sports record intact. Colin, how do you feel about that? Like it's like those kind of things are like knowing my wife was going to be my wife when I first went over to her house, and she had an N64 still plugged into her TV.
Wow. Yep.
With, I want to say Ocarina of Time was in the console, Mario Kart close to it. Like a couple of like wrestling games and stuff that she had like got from her brothers. But like, it was like, I saw that and it was like, you play N64. It's like, yeah, Ocarina of Time is the best game ever made. It was like, oh, I'm keeping you. Like we're done with any just this is it. This is the one. Like that kind of, it's even you don't have to be playing games for them to impact your life. It can just be like, oh, that little thing, or like seeing a shirt and just being like, I love that shirt. I love that shirt. Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great that gaming now is not dismissed, which is great.
Yeah.
My dad, who was an old school guy, passed away in 2007. I remember when I was showing him Hot Shots Golf on the PS1. He's like, "Wait, you can do golf on this?" I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, it's awesome." I remember playing Tekken 3 with my mom, and she actually beat me once. I'm like, "Really?" It's amazing. And I remember my wife, she's like, "Oh, I'll beat you at virtual tennis on the Dreamcast for the first time." And then she's like, "I don't game at all. I play word games on my phone." Those moments matter more so than all the kills, everything else. And my only regret is, Mark, we didn't play more. We call it co-op mode, but we have not played much together, which is so weird. So maybe we make a commitment. You aren't podcasting with me anymore, but can we play? Maybe we should game more together.
So I just said this to Sean. So let's get we all have Switch 2s. We all have Mario Kart.
Get some Mario Kart party going on. I can be horrible.
Game chat.
And I can taunt you guys when I'm in last place.
We can use the webcams that we use for this.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I got my webcam set up. I'm good to go. Although I will this is the worst thing in the world, Mark. The hoary like cameras. I get that the Piranha Plant one sucks. They sell another one. It's also 480p. What the hell are they doing? Why?
Where are they getting these like 480p cameras? Who makes those anymore?
I don't even know who he makes. I mean, it's like what sense are you buying from him? Like it's off the it's weird. AliExpress, thank you
Shack
for that. Yeah,
like bins and grab some 480p camera. I like because like they say that about technology all the time. It's like you can't like that's why technology goes obsolete, right? Like you can't replace that part because no one's making it anymore.
That's why you don't buy old graphics cards, because they stopped making them, so they get more expensive. My son's like, "Why is that 4070 so expensive?" Because they stopped making it. Nobody's buying that anymore.
So when I see something like that, and that's like you see a lot of these Ambernick devices and that kind of thing that use a very specific screen size or like a very specific screen, and it's like leftover screens from like this device or that device, or sometimes it's like
it's even like the Switch 2, right? That screen is a weird one because it's like, who's making 8-inch 120 screen versus like the OLED they made? It's like they probably got a deal off a truck.
Yeah. So like a lot of that stuff, it's like, oh, these were left over from phones, or this is from that.
Yeah.
But like, where the hell do you get a 480p camera nowadays? Like,
it's not even a flip phone. I mean, I had a flip phone back in the day, but it's so dumb. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Because I'm like, oh, it seems like a good idea. Like at Best Buy, it's $60. I'm like, I can get a 1080p for $40. And that's what I have over there.
I got a 4K camera for $40. Like the one I'm using right now, I just got it.
And you just plug it into your Switch.
I want it. Yeah, I can plug this into my Switch. It works on the Switch. It works here. It's 4K. It was like on sale for like $40 on Amazon.
So dumb. Oh, well. Crazy. So that brings us back to, we're not done. Mark is still available to actually connect with.
Absolutely.
We just won't be podcasting every 2 weeks. And that's the whole thing we've talked about. Mark's like, let's talk about Xbox. And I'm like, we'll talk about Xbox.
Yeah, no, you know what? Xbox.
We'll have a chat, maybe. It doesn't matter.
Because Xbox is such a downer right now. So, yeah, we were going to do that. But this episode has been incredible. Thank you, Todd. I had no idea that people were going to write in. People were going to call in, join us. I had no idea any of this was happening. This was just incredible and such a surprise and such a positive way to do this. I am utterly just basically at a loss for words, which is weird for me. But thank you so much. You embraced me wanting to talk about video games. When Warp Whistle ended, I felt very lost. My brother went through like some personal relationship stuff and left the show kind of abruptly. Yeah. So, and at that time I wasn't ready. You know, I had all this gear and all this like stuff that I still wanted to say and do. And you guys, you and Charlie both really embraced me as part of the network. But you especially just starting up this show and saying like, yeah, maybe we can add something into Secret Friends Unite. You know, how we tried to start it for half a second before we
Diluted that we could do it in 20 minutes.
Right. But, you know, like just embracing that and jumping in and making this such a pleasure. And then coming up with all this stuff. You are 1 in a billion. This is amazing. And I've said it already. I'll say it again. I am not going far. I am still going to be around. I will still jump on any guest show that anyone sends me an invite to, this show included, especially. You know, I will still be a voice somewhere. But I want to thank everyone that has listened, that wrote in, that jumped in, that has gamed with us and talked with us over the past 6.5 years, 7 years, whatever. This has been incredible. So thank you all.
All I can say is you brought my ability to podcast about video games to life, Mark. That is something that means a lot to me. And we have connections that are people that we have today and are gone. And we know that. And that means a lot because we witness people that no longer are no longer with us. And we kind of shared our grief together. And that means a lot. And it forms a bond. And at times I was kind of the grumpy guy. But I wanted to feel like we tried to bring a little bit of joy into the world when we did the buy rent return. We did some goofy things with Polka Todd. I always like, what can we do to just have some goofy fun? And that was a little bit different than every video game podcast out there. So I thank you so much. You're a friend without borders. Obviously, we talk about you being in a place that doesn't exist. And I didn't know this place existed until I really got to know you and Famous and, you know, Eric and really it's broadened my horizons about the world of gaming. So I am very happy to say, even though this is ending, I got to be happy for what we had. So, and it's not ending. If there's a weird Nintendo thing we got to talk about, I will send out the moose signal to you, Mark, with maple syrup, some weird Timbits or whatever happens. We'll do that. So I'm just happy where we ended. And you know what? You'll get some sleep. And that's what going forward.
That's it.
Thank you, buddy.
Yes, thank you. I'll be looking to the sky for that moose symbol.
Absolutely. So that is it for episode 170. Our journey forward is going to be a little bit different. We're going to try some new things. And if Mark wants to give me advice, that's great. I'd appreciate it. If you guys have suggestions, we'll go from there. But that is co-op mode. And my goodness, thank you, Mark, for almost 7 years of good discussion about the world of games, your perspective, my perspective. So with that, where can people find you going forward?
Find me in the Secret Friends Unite Discord group. Find me right there. Or if you want to follow me on Instagram, Canardian_Jedi. But they're my two main hangs.
Excellent. Well, you can follow us for all things Secret Friends Unite on the Blue Skies at Todd Oxtra, at Secret Friends Unite, on Threads, Facebook, and Instagram at Toxtra, at Secret Friends Unite. And also check out our Discord, check out our YouTube, check out our Patreon. With that, I will always end with, it's always better to game together.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and podcast services around the galaxy, as well as video on our YouTube channel. You can support Secret Friends Unite by becoming a Patreon member. Get bonus programs and more over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. Join our Discord community for even more discussions on all things geek. For all the latest updates on Secret Friends Unite, make sure to follow us on Threads at secret.friends.unite and visit secretfriendsunite.com. Find our merchandise at TeePublic and Redbubble. Thanks for listening, and may the Force live long and prosper.